We'll get you back on. Hold on. Yeah, we live. It look like here in Daphne for the Goode Preps Coach Show. So we got Coach Chris Goode, everybody on here. What's going on, coaches?
What's going on, bro?
Doing great.
So let me get the. What's Kevin? I know you probably got a lot to talk about today. Coach Richardson, I see you on here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In the house, working hard, man.
Coach, you can go ahead and start.
Yeah.
Me and Richardson too close. I'm at the move.
Might have had my
Let me take this off the screen. Y'all, we coming to you live from Daphne at the United States Sports Academy. Giving y'all the Goode Prep Coach. Everybody, let's get the head man on here real quick. Coach Goode, let's get him on the screen.
all right.
Y'all bear with us. Bear with us.
I got it now.
What you got going, Warren?
Say it again, KT.
So what you got going?
Oh, nothing much, man. Just getting out of these meetings. Trying to get my first view of the building too. See what y'all got going on right now. like a whole bunch of sunshine coming that bed.
Hey, Warren, it's nice here too.
Hey, I see. I'm looking at the roof and the skylights and all that.
I'm telling you, it's a great setup here in the United States Sports Academy. I can tell y'all that. Got Coach Goode on the big screen now. Coach, man, let's talk about the program. I know you got recruit day coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, we got a big recruiting day start as Saturday at 1 p.m. and hopefully we'll have a lot of the football players here, basketball, baseball, and in basketball, hope male and female show up. Whenever time you have the first one, you never know how many really will show. And I think Coach Richardson said we have 20 to 30 right now, which, that means probably 20% more show up. So we should probably, I would say 30, probably 30 to 40 kids that'll show up here, which would be good for the first one. Then I think it'll start feeling better because by the next time we have one, that recruiting date is over. Then a lot of them got to make a decision on what they really want to do. Because one thing about it, we're gonna keep trying and keep going, and if they're not on board, we're gonna leave them.
I know one thing, Coach. We got an outstanding program here that a lot of people might need to look into, especially with the transfer portal situation.
Yeah, we're now over at the United States Sports Academy. We have a lot of sports degrees. We kind of partner with them on the class side of it, which that's United States Sports Academy Goode Elite Prep. So a lot of people have opportunity if they want to go through the degree program. They can do that. Then we have some that really want to play a semester or a year, and then they can take those core classes as well and go ahead and sign with a 4-year college. Also, so United States Sports Academy has been a real big help for us. So a lot of things we're doing now is because, with the president, the old and new that's coming in, and Brandon, they really supporting us a lot, and that's one of the things we're doing. So, not only that, we're having our Southern Postgrad Conference meeting here on Saturday morning as well. So I have a full day starting Saturday morning.
That's gonna be huge.
Yeah.
I know, man. It's like a foreign thing here in this region that everybody's starting to, pay attention.
Yeah.
And,
We've been in the area now for 3 years. The thing is, we have a lot of schools and programs. People know that we're here, but I think this is kind of going to push us over the edge, where people see really where we stand and what we're doing, how we're really trying to help and support the kids and the community and trying to get the guys signed. I had, with all of y'all in this part of the staff, and Phil Quigley, Marquise Richardson, and you yourself, and Alonzo Johnson, and we have more coaches that's coming on staff. I think we're doing a great job of doing, helping these guys get into the program and trying to help them get out as well.
I can tell you on the basketball side, we just had a couple kids get offers, after our game against Lighthouse, NAIA school down in Florida. They offered a kid, and Atlantic Cape Fear out of New Jersey, they offered some kids.
Mm-hmm.
So that's on the basketball side. Coach Quigley, talk about the baseball side over there.
I'll tell you, this is an exciting year. It's the first year, and there's some. We tried to first of all recruit Mobile, Baldwin County, Pensacola area. We've pulled some good ones out of Blunt, Davidson, Murphy, McGill, Tulane, Foley, Pensacola Catholic, Dothan. Picked up a great young man that came out of Jeff Davidson Montgomery, that he had signed with Wallace, got hurt. They didn't bring him back in the fall, and he's rehabbed, doing great, and we're just looking forward to a great season. And how exciting, like you said, KT, and what Coach Goode mentioned, to be partnered with the United States Sports Academy. And I just think it's already Goode Elite Prep is amazing, and what a great opportunity for these young men and women. And I believe, KT, in the future we're looking at maybe softball and volleyball. Is that true?
Softball, volleyball, and women's basketball.
Women's basketball. Thank you. So there's so many great opportunities, and as Coach Jens, you were talking about earlier, with transfer portal, and also too, if we remember a couple years ago with COVID, with the players getting an extra year, what an opportunity to come play for Goode Elite Prep, part of the United States Sports Academy, and to to help these young student athletes to continue on.
Oh yeah, Coach Richardson, I see you over there working, man. What you working on over there, man?
Man, what we have going on over here, brother, we're straight recruiting, man. The recruiting department is very excited about the upcoming year here at Goode Elite Prep. We have some big time recruits that are coming in for football. We have international recruits that are coming in for our men's basketball program. We have a lot of young ladies that are very interested and have been offered for our first year for our women's basketball program. So we are out here in these recruiting streets, brother, just looking at different kids, offering different kids, and telling different kids about our program here at Goode Elite Prep and how excited we are to just be with the United States Sports Academy, because it gives kids a lot of options through the prep route, and also just getting their degrees through United States Sports Academy. So we're out here looking for kids, Coach.
Man, it's just an awesome thing. Warren, what are some of the questions that people probably been asking you about Goode Elite Prep that you want to ask the coaches and the recruiter? Since we got everybody here today. I think Warren fell off. He'll be back in a minute. But
Now, I can't tell you one of the things we're doing right now. We're actively, looking for coaches as well. So we kind of interviewing coaches right now. So if you're a coach out there, you're a coach on the football side of it, contact me, or Coach Richardson, or KT, Coach Thornton as well, and let us know. I know there's been one or two guys I've contacted that are probably coming in with us this year, but we are right now. The doors are kind of open, where we kind of, trying to recruit coach, bring in.
Coach Richardson, I know you got you on the laptop over there. Talk about some of the countries that some of the kids that you expect to be here at Goode Elite Prep next year.
Okay, well, we're recruiting kids nationwide, international-wide, worldwide. We have kids that have been offered from London, England. We have kids that have been offered for basketball from Nigeria, from South Africa. We have kids that are even very interested in our program all the way from Switzerland. So we do deal with the NFL academy over there. There's something like the IMG Academy here in Florida, but it's strictly kids that are just being coached and actually programmed by the NFL Academy, just by ex-NFL coaches. And we have a couple of players that are coming from London, dealing with the NFL Academy here also. So when it comes to all of our sports, dealing with baseball, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, women's or men's, we want to reach out internationally now, since we are combined with the United States Sports Academy, and give those kids an opportunity to come here and earn scholarships as well. So we're reaching out worldwide.
Wow. Coach Goode, what you think about that? Having a total sports program with all the different sports.
Right. So as you know, we were always at one point with just football, and then we finally got the opportunity. We started doing basketball last year and this year. So, we're a program now that's going on year number 7. So it's time to expand. So, and it's good that we get kids from overseas, wherever they're coming from. That's a good thing about it. Because we play a lot of programs, especially, yourself in basketball. That's all some of the teams have. And that's the same way in baseball. Coach Quigley knows about that. You get some of the guys, good you can get. So, I'm kind of excited about it, especially with all the sports going on. Just that, it's always a process trying to get it done. So we're going to see if we can make sure a lot of this work for, especially, on ones that's new sports. So, real excited about it, getting it up and going and started.
Anybody who's interested, Coach, how can they get in touch with anybody here at Goode Elite Prep?
They can go online at goodeeliteprepcoach.com, and all the information for us, email is on there, and the telephone. Just contact me and just let me know which sports you're looking at, and then I can steer them in the right direction. Be it basketball, football, baseball. Because I just had a coach in football, 2 of them this morning, that I had told them to contact Coach Richardson. He's a recruit, coordinator for us. So, there's, you can't get them, they can contact me, and so we'll get the information. And thing about it, when you contact us, we need to see film and whole. We're just not recruiting people off something that they can play. We're not doing that. It's not going to happen. We're not that type of program.
Coach, I know the basketball team got another monumental win last week over Spring Hill College. Talk about how big that is when you're trying to sell a program to the high school kids.
Yeah, it's always big when you're a post-grad program and you play a college team that has a JUCO team, and you play well or you beat them. Because one thing about it, when you play those teams like that, that's a good opportunity for the guys to get recruited as well with the team that we're playing against. And that's why one of the things, one of the things we're doing right now, Coach Richardson and I have been talking about it, trying to get some of these college teams that's either JUCO teams or college teams that have a first, second year JV team that we're going to try to play this year. And so, hopefully by next week, we'll get a lot of that iron out, because we're doing kind of putting the schedule together for our conference in the post-grad program That'll happen this Saturday. So we'll be off and running with the football schedule starting probably Monday or Sunday the next day. So, which a lot of those teams has been requesting that, Coach Rich has been talking to them, and we're going to try to make sure we fill that schedule.
And we got some big teams, Coach Thor.
Oh man.
Yeah, we're talking to a couple of. I just let one out the bag, but we're trying to wait till our schedule get done, and then we're going to try to get a game with Navy JV. That's one of the biggest games that we're trying to get on our schedule this year. Is with Navy.
Yeah. And we're trying to get the teams like, natural. And I think a lot of people know that he has a high school team and a post-grad team. So, this year, that's one of the things we're trying to do where we can play them as well. So, there's a lot of good teams that are post-grad or JV teams, like Fort Union and a lot of teams like that. But, some of the teams depends on the distance or how far it is, if we can, sustain that and really try to book that game, because sometimes travel will be an issue for us also.
Coach Rich, we got a question for you on the screen. How y'all recruiting overseas? Do you watch film or fly over there?
Or fly over there?
Or meet them in person? How do you do that?
Well, we have a recruiting process to where we kind of go back and forth with our kids. We want to recruit families. That's one thing that we do here, because Goode Elite is a big family within itself. And I guess you guys know about the Goode brothers. So everything here is kind of family oriented. We treat each other like family. So when we're recruiting students, we don't just jump in the kids' DM. We want to reach out to the parents, so everyone is transparent and we're all on the same page. So what I do is it's a process that I go through by evaluating film. We'll all look at the film and see if that kid is a great fit for us. We don't only look at film, but we search through Twitters, we search through your Instagram, we look at your Facebook profiles, because we actually want to know what type of kid that we are bringing into our program. We only want high character kids. So just because your film play is high character doesn't mean that you might have stuff on your Twitter or your Facebook page that represents you in a high character way. So we kind of stay away from kids like that. So we're very, very, very detailed in how we evaluate our kids. That's the reason we send a lot of kids to D2 and D1 schools, because when they get here, these are high character kids. Now we do fall through every once in a while on a couple of kids, and we try our best as a staff and as a coaching staff to try to help the young man or young woman to kind of correct problems that they may have, dealing with character issues. But once we show that, that love, and we extend we extend what we can do for the students and extend that to them, there's only so much that we can do. So we try to stay away from those problems, or stay away from kids that could cause a problem for our program or cause a hindrance for other kids. So it is a process, yes, Coach, that we go through. We don't have the type of budget also to kind of fly out like you might see an SEC school or ACC school do, or their coaches do. So we don't get into, we will go to different schools in our region, in our area, in our state. We'll recruit kids like that, but we don't normally fly out to different schools to recruit.
Man, that's a good question. If you have any questions and you in the audience, put them in the comments and we'll put them on the board.
I'm gonna pick it back.
What you got, Coach Goode?
Said is that, a lot of times when we're talking to the student athletes, over the phone or conversation or meeting them face to face or whatever, at some point it comes out when we'll talk about it as a coaching staff, is that they're not going to be the right fit, because there are some things that you would do, and and a lot of people don't understand, but there are just a couple of things that we don't tolerate with, and it's hard for us to try to say, okay, we're going to recruit this kid, because if you come here as a problem kid, that's one thing we don't want. We don't want problems within the team.
Oh yeah, it is expensive, Miss Eagle flying over there. I can tell you that. So man, we rely on a lot of different sources to help us get kids as well. Coach Quigley, let's talk about that baseball team. I know y'all getting ready to get started, right?
Yeah, it'll be towards the end of February. We're going to put a little round robin together too. But it's as Coach Goode was talking about, and Marquise, Coach Marquise, being that there's not as many prep baseball teams as you probably know with the basketball too, Coach. You'll be seen playing a lot of junior colleges, small 4-year schools. There are a couple, 2, 3 prep baseball programs over Mississippi and Louisiana. We will schedule. So, I just think it's so important. And I think you touched on something so that's important of being seen by these junior colleges, 4-year schools that you're playing. And what a great way of recruitment right there as well. And so, and one thing that I agree with Coach Marquise on is the quality of student athletes that we do recruit and the ones that we do have. Obviously been involved with Coach Goode now for 4 or 5 years, came with him from Tuscaloosa down here 2020. And what a trying time, but we still made it through because of COVID and the hurricane, Sally. But it's just amazing the feats and the steps that Coach Goode and the staff has put together, and what Coach Goode has done to partner with United States Sports Academy, and it helps bring in these quality student athletes. And and it's something else I want to touch on, because you had one that we had to talk to about. It is very important for those listeners and those student athletes listening of what you put on your social media, because this is something that can really hurt you, and these are things that are being looked at. So it's very important.
Coach, I know a lot of people want to know, where you play college baseball at.
What now? Say it again, Coach.
I know some of the viewers might want to know where you play college baseball, man.
The Bama.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, baby.
Oh, yeah, man. We got
Hey,
one
I
of
think
the
we got a lot of
coaches.
Bammers around here, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
But, Coach, I want to say something, too. I came and saw you guys play at Spring Hill and came the other night over to Lighthouse. I know it was against a Florida prep school. It's amazing, Coach, what you've done. And I highly recommend you that are out there listening and find these young student athletes. Coach KT has put together such a fine program and does such a great job with his young student athletes, and it's just amazing. And kudos to you, Coach. You've done a great job.
Oh, yeah, man. It's been a tough time. I know me and Coach Goode already know. Man.
It has to buy in to something they need. They the one need.
Man, it's been a process. I can tell you that. Coach Goode, talk about that trip when we went to Enterprise, and Coach Williams, he was sitting there talking with the kids, and the kids just thought he was conversating, but he was actually starting a recruitment process on some of them, and they didn't even know it. Talk about how important that is, playing those JUCO teams, being a young program like we are.
Oh yeah, it's very important. Like I said earlier, that's one of the reasons why, Coach Rich and I were looking at some of the teams, like some of the JUCO teams or 4-year teams that's automatic recruiting tool for us. That's very easy, because once those guys get into those programs, man, or we play them, and that's one of the things they always do, because we had teams. My first and second year that we played, I think it was 3 4-year school that had junior JV teams. And so a lot of kids got, but now we do have kids sometimes that, everybody always think they're a D1 and don't realize, you go to school and you will get a scholarship. So you can go to a D2 school, if they're not really recruiting you that heavy, then most of the time you're not even going to probably want to play it. Because I've seen that a lot this year with some kids that, you know, a friend of mine had a son that was playing in college and he just got him in somewhere else. And for the last 2 years, he hadn't been playing. And so before he went to the school, I told him that was the wrong fit for him. So now he's found somewhere somebody really want him. So, you know, he'll probably get a lot of playing. But if you're a kid, you know, like his was a kid that went to the school, was the leading tackler on the team, and they still sit him on the bench this past year.
Man,
So,
and
get a new coaching staff in, that changes up a lot also, because
yeah,
a lot of times, you know, everyone on here knows this. When you get a coach in who you from another school and you didn't come to them, then they end up coming to your school, most likely you're gonna probably want those guys sit on the bench there because they're still pissed because you didn't sign with them from the other school they were at. So, you know, we see a lot of that in college football now. You know, that's why I tell kids always, hey, never burn a bridge with a coach. You talk to them. If you're not gonna go, just say, you know, tell them polite and say, Coach, hey, I made a decision with me and my family, you know, to go here. Don't sit there and not return their calls at all, because that's the worst thing you can do, because you never know. You have an offer that you think you're going to, and then all of a sudden you're back up to that team, and then if you never call them back, you probably never get that offer.
Coach, think about those games we played, Enterprise, Coastal, and Bishop State. All those Division I talented players that those 3 junior colleges have on their roster. You know, talk a little bit about how the game is changing. That a lot of those D1 talented kids are going JUCO first.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know.
A lot of those kids, you know, and we get it now with a lot of kids, you know, and go Rich this too. We get kids or parents sometimes that call and just say, hey, my son's not ready to go to college right now. He needs a semester or a year with you all first. And so, you know, we got, I think, 1 or 2 kids Coach Richmond was telling me about. There's 3 or 4 star kids. Those kids, 3 and 4 stars, to be honest, you know, when they 3 and 4 star, they got opportunity. They can be D1 players, because you find more guys at 3 star, no star, that pans out better than some of the 4 and 5 stars sometimes. You know, and that happens a lot. And a lot of kids don't realize just because you don't have a star, it doesn't mean you're not a good player.
Exactly.
You know, so they look too many at them stars, man. Them stars don't mean nothing. You don't perform on the field. You know, I just know that from my experience playing with guys in college that had all these stars. They were blue chippers in. We had that star system. And so then you get in the NFL, all conference, all this right here, man, all that stuff goes out the window. They don't care. The best man that plays and hustle and about doing that, their job, that's who they're going to keep. And so, you know, that's why I always say when kids come to us, man, do what you're supposed to do.
You know, I was sitting there looking at a lot of kids now, you know, since we have the United States Sports Academy, that hold on, we got a ring somewhere.
I got you, bro.
I think me and Coach Rich. Yeah, that was us. But Coach, there's a lot of D3 offers. You know, a lot of those kids now can now go to the United States Sports Academy and still, you know, have opportunities to still go D1 if that's something they want to do instead of going to a D3 school. You know, we're not knocking them, because we're gonna have some kids that are gonna have to go D3. But you know, now with the United States Sports Academy, you know, that gives us some leverage to be able to compete with the Huntingtons, the Spring Hill colleges, you know, for kids that we normally probably wouldn't get.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, you know, Coach Richardson and I talked about. He talks about it a lot about these kids getting a degree and, you know, try to do the fast track. A lot of people can come do that and still leave here with a degree and then go ahead and do a 4-year school and still have those 2 or 3 years to play. It depends on if they get it really done in that 2.5 years.
Oh yeah.
And Coach, I wanted to piggyback off that also, Coach. And I tell a lot of kids all the time, in 5 years, in the next 5 years, if you do go the United States Sports Academy route, in 3 years, you will have your bachelor's degree. You will have 2 years of eligibility left to play as a grad transfer student. So you're looking at in 5 years, this kid playing college level sports and having a master's degree in 5 years. That's not bad. That's a win-win situation for all kids that choose this particular route. If you can have your bachelor's in three years, still have 2 years to play, and you then get your master's, you're working on your master's in the next 2 years. In 5 years, these kids have been graduated and on with a nice college degree, with a career, making nice money.
Yeah. And a lot of them got to know, when they come in with that, they can't come in and just thinking that, because you're looking at a heavy load, so you better be
Right.
you better be ready. So you can
Look, coach, you ain't gonna be at the snack bar too much. I can tell you that.
you can't, but it can be done. It's been done.
Yeah,
it's been done.
And I tell coaches all the time also, because I know it might be some parents or kids on here. A lot of kids get these D3 offers. It's nothing wrong. We don't knock D3 schools. We don't knock any program, because we send kids to D3, D2, D1. It's great schools out here. But if you're going to go that route, make sure that your academic foundation is up to par for you to receive academic money. A lot of kids are getting D3 offers, but the school might cost $50,000 a year to go there. Knowing their situation, this kid is not going to be able to pay that type of finances to go to that institution, or pay that tuition to go to that institution, even though he might have an offer. After financial aid is paid for and financial aid and Pell Grants are used up, you're probably still looking at $15,000, $20,000 that you will have to come out your pocket to go to that school. So it's a big difference when you have an ACT score, or if you have an SAT score that can get you presidential money or academic scholarship money if you're going to go the D3 route. It costs a lot of money to go to these D3 schools and some of the NAIA schools that are offering these kids. So when you get an offer, you want to do your research. Make sure that you're doing your research on the tuition. Make sure that you're doing your research on your academic side to make sure that this is a great fit for you, not only academic wise, but financial wise, to make sure you're not putting your parents in an overbearing situation to where they can't get out of, and you find yourself in debt. So make sure you do your homework.
My take on that is, I really think that if you are considering D3, D2, that you might just want to check out our program here, especially what we got going here at the United States Sports Academy. I really think that you might want to schedule you a visit and come, see what the program has to offer, and see if it fits what you're trying to do in life. Because a lot of people, they make great decisions, but they have poor information. But you can't make a great decision with poor information. So a lot of people thinking, oh, I made the best decision ever, and it'd be the worst one because you didn't do all your research. My thing is, now we have something that can almost compete with what they have at some of these 4-year schools here with the United States Sports Academy. And if you're a sports-driven person, you want that sports degree. You want that coaching degree. You want that athletic training degree, so you can make dollars. You talk about money too. So, that's a great investment as well. And then, Coach Goode, I want you to talk about the, we're going to be doing the internships, with the coaches here at the United States Sports Academy as well.
Yeah.
You might want to talk a little bit about that, as some of those guys that's in those classes can actually start coaching, with us.
Yeah, that's
talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's one of the things that, with the Sports Academy, we've talked with them about some of the students that they have, or we can try to get them as interns. And so that's one of the things we're working on right now. Hopefully, I know before the football season, we'll find out, what all they have. So that internship covers everything from football, baseball, basketball, everything. So there's a lot of, students that's taking classes here that's on the Sports Academy that hopefully that we'll get into our program out this year.
I can tell you this, I need some interns. I wish I had sold out, but boy, it get tiring. Me and Coach Goode, I'm telling you, we be the only ones there. I know, Phil, you probably need some of those interns as well. You know,
And I think Coach Goode is laughing right now because she understands what you're saying.
Oh, yeah.
so
Yes, we could.
talk about some of those baseball, some of the training that some of your guys been doing, Phil, in off
You
season
know,
leading up to the season.
yeah, thanks for asking that because a lot of them think they just get out there, pitch, throw, and there's so many things that we do and that they can do on their own too. There's generally about 10 drills, and especially in pitching. And a lot of times these young student athletes aren't taught the drills, and it starts from just the balance to separation of your ball from the glove to make you start leaning and pushing off the rubber to keep your back down. And once they get out to the mound, then it all comes together. And it's the same way in hitting. So constantly, and I know some of them think it may be boring, but then they understand when they get into the practice and game situations, and it just all comes together. And so a lot of drills, a lot of mechanics, a lot of working on the infield, outfield, and just like football, we have skill positions, like your catcher, who is so important because if you think about it, Coach KT, he's the only one that sees the whole field. If you will. He's more or less like the quarterback of the team. He's calling everything. And what a position that you're always looking for such a skilled athlete at that position. And so there's just so much that goes into it. It's a big, as you know, and I know Coach Goode knows, and Coach Marquise, like any sport, it's a lot of focus, a lot of mental sport, if you will. There's always something going on in a game situation. And so just a lot of things like that you're working on.
I know it's, probably a couple kids on here right now. They're in college and man, I want to play baseball again.
Mm-hmm.
Is it any way possible for those kids to join your program?
You better believe it. You better believe it. Always looking for good arms, good pitchers. We have a great infield, but you never know what you're going to find. Always looking for a good catcher. But yes, definitely can. And like Coach Goode said, you can go online and he'll get it to the what coach needs to be, and always looking for great student athletes and that we could use here to help their career. And just one other quick thing I wanted to add that I thought was important is it is such a great recruiting tool. And I've talked to a lot of the junior college coaches. I know a lot of the coaches. And as Coach Goode said, and as you said, and Coach Marquise, this is another recruiting tool for these colleges to play teams like our prep school and find great athletes that they're looking for in certain positions. So it behooves them too. It benefits these schools that we play, as you said.
I'll never forget. We was up at Enterprise and we was warming up, and I passed by the coach's office. And he has a camera inside the gym, and he was sitting there watching our kids warm up. So it's like a total audition when we play these colleges. He's trying to see who's slacking without the coach watching. He told me to walk in and out just to see how the kids would, react. What they, continue doing what, we had them doing. Would you have to stand over the top of them? So a lot of these colleges are using these as exclusive recruiting tools, to see if some of these kids can fit in their program.
Right.
Man, it's going to be awesome to see baseball.
Well, we thank you for this, Coach, and I agree. It's just exciting as we keep adding these different athletics, whether they be male, female. It's just a great opportunity in a way, and another opportunity to enhance their career and to continue on.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get Coach Goode back on real quick, Coach.
Going on,
Coach. I know you big day on Saturday, Coach. Do you want Coach Richardson to talk a little bit more about it? Or,
oh yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Coach Richardson.
Oh, okay. Yes, Saturday we're going to have our first visit Here at the United States Sports Academy, we're going to have academic advising, financial aid advising. You're going to get a chance to meet the coaching Goode elite staff and also coaches there. If you have any questions, we're going to tour the facilities, tour our housing, our apartments that we do lodging for our kids, and just show you a good time, show you a good Southern hospitality down here and family love on how we do things at Goode Elite Prep. So we're very excited about that. We have signing day coming up February the 1st. It's National Signing Day. And we're going to try to do a signing day here at Goode for football. And then we're going to come back and do visits and do another signing for basketball. So we're going to try to make this thing into a movie, Coach. We're really excited. And in my Coach Prime voice, we coming this year.
I can tell all the basketball recruits, y'all need to start doing your registration so we'll know that you're serious about coming to Goode Elite Prep as well. I don't want to be offering 50 kids and 5 kids show up next year.
Right. Well, we're gonna stay on the grind dealing with our recruiting and make sure that each program, we got some great recruits for baseball as well. We've already offered a couple of catchers, already offered several pitchers for the class of 23. I'm just keeping that secret. We're very, we want to work on each program at the same time, but I know football and basketball, it kind of goes hand in hand. We've passed out dual offers also for football players and basketball players. We have a couple of dual offers for football and baseball. So we have players that we are recruiting that are multi-sport players. We're going and get the best elite high school athletes that hasn't been recruited across the nation, across the world, internationally. And we're going to bring them here and help them as much as we possibly can to outbound recruit them to so that we could get bigger and better, man. So
I want everybody to understand this too. The level of competition that we played. Y'all, we played a Florida Coastal Prep team that finished number 3 in the country last year. And we beat them by what, 24, Coach Goode?
Mm-hmm.
And y'all, I'm telling you, it's a big difference from us playing them compared to playing against Bishop State and Coastal and Enterprise and Spring Hill JV team over there. It's a Lighthouse College. Even has a great team. Eddie Brown is possibly the best guard that we faced all year. And he's down at Lighthouse Christian, and he averaged 40 points a game. So I'm talking about the level is higher than you ever can imagine. You know, this is not your ordinary Bishop State team. This is not your ordinary Coastal Alabama South team. This is not your ordinary Enterprise State team. So those teams have really prepared us for the national prep school, level. And man, when we play those prep schools, it's like, man, why are we playing them today? Sometimes it looks like that, but it just goes to show the, level of competition that we play against. And kudos to those coaches, for allowing us to play against their teams. And y'all, I'm telling you, man, some of them games were shootouts. I'm talking about it came down to us just missing shots. Coach Goode, reiterate a little bit more about that. Us playing a tough schedule, being, a prep school, and even on the football side.
Yeah, most prep schools, if you don't have especially in the basketball side of it, football, we have a couple of teams that's kind of within the 3-4 hours that we can play. But in basketball, we have to play a lot of JUCOs because we don't have a lot of post-grad programs we can play against. There's more and more starting to happen with basketball, but eventually, they'll probably build up on the basketball side like football. But, we probably have, you looking at the state of Alabama, Mississippi, where they don't have one, but Georgia and Florida, there's a lot of post-grad programs that you can play, but you want to minimize it because you want to play a lot of those JUCO teams or 4-year teams that have JUCO teams as well. So, basketball, I think it's great because one thing you get, like you say, you get that opportunity to play against college teams that you can get recruited by. And a lot of these kids don't take advantage of it because we got some on our team that don't take advantage of it when they're playing those games and then don't realize you're doing an audition right now and you don't even realize it.
Talk, coach, man, we need to start giving the high school kids tips on how to be prepared for the next level. And a lot of people think prep school is another year of high school. They lied when they told y'all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate to tell you, it is not another year of high school.
Oh,
And
very
a
quick.
lot of kids get here, and it's like when you miss a shot in basketball, it's magnified because they might not miss the next 6 shots.
Yes.
So now you go from a 1-point game to an 11-point game just because you missing shots. And Coach Goode can remember our players looking like, Coach, I just missed the shot, but you putting us behind because they making theirs. But what are some of the tips that you want to give kids? And I want the other coaches to give them. My tip is to practice all of your fundamentals and make sure that you perfect your fundamentals, before you move on to the next level. That's my tip. What you got, Coach Goode?
Well, mine is that kids coming to, unless they want to, you got a kid that's 3, 4, and 5 star. They got that 3 and 4 and 5 star, most of them because they work out all the time. Some of the kids that really don't have those stars, you have a very few that work on their craft. Their craft could be anything. It could be in baseball, basketball, or football. And that's one thing they got to realize. You got to work on it. You got to work on what you do. If you love playing that sport, you need to love what you're doing. When it comes, you got to work out for it. You have to. And I know that just from being in college and going to the NFL. I worked hard because I wanted to be the best in my position. If I wasn't the best, I was going to be close to it. And that proved the point because I did play in the NFL years and years. So, because of me, going out every day when I had to take days off. And a lot of these kids these days, they don't do it. They don't know how to take a day off.
Coach Phil, what type of advice you would give a kid getting ready to play on this level?
Yeah, and as Coach Goode said as well, you got to keep honing your skills. You're going to be facing a lot of great pitchers. That's another. At this level, you're going to be facing great pitching. Also, you're going to see some great hitting, but it still comes down to, as Coach said, you got to continue working your skills. I think back, and it's going to sound crazy, but I think back to what Jack Nicklaus said. He won his 4th Masters, and they said, are you going to quit practicing? He said, the day I quit practice is the day I quit the sport. So you got to continue it, whether it's hitting, pitching, and you got to continue working on your drills, working on your mechanics. It is just something that's always continuing, and that's what I'd say. And you do have to love. I'll never forget one of my first coaches told me to pick up my glove and smell it. He said, "Do you like the smell of that leather?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Then you'll love baseball." But you know what I'm getting at? It's just loving your sport, continue to keep working, constantly working on it. Just like your education, if you don't study, if you don't work hard, you're not going to get the grades.
Coach Richardson, from the recruiting side, what advice would you give to kids?
I have a couple of tips for them. One thing that I see a lot is kids don't understand that this is a business. I don't care what sport you play, if you're playing AAU basketball, if you're playing Little League football, if you're playing college football, if you're playing junior high. People have to pay to get into those games. So everything is a business. Everything here kind of operates and kind of goes full circle. So I want the kids to understand when you hear Nick Saban talking about a kid's brand and his value, he's talking about what does that kid have? What return is he going to get for his investment in a kid? So a kid, you're a brand now. And I want them to understand that, because a lot of kids you can't find on the internet. Your name says a lot about you. I don't want to see your name saying you Lie Dunn or Lil Dunn or something like that when your name is Donald Jones, because what that does is it takes away from your value. It takes away from your brand. So you want to all the time represent your brand at a tip-top level. Also, I want to send this recruiting out to parents. A lot of kids that have gotten D1 scholarships and D2 scholarships, even kids that I deal with today, parents, you have to become kind of like your kid's manager. You have to use your social media platforms to kind of network and advertise and give kids exposure on your page. A lot of times you have adults on your page that are tied to coaches, that are tied to coaching staffs, that are tied to different schools because of your alumni background. You have to use that for exposure for your son or daughter. A lot of parents that have listened to us and followed this process, kids are now playing D1 ball, full ride scholarships. But that's because the parents was the one that reached out to the coaches. The parents was the one that actually sent emails and helped the kids out. It has to be a family process. The kids can only do so much, but maybe parents, you could reach people, or you could reach positions or places that the kid maybe can't reach at this level right now. So it's very important that you be a part of your kids' recruiting process and you understand what's going on in this recruiting process.
You know, a lot of times I hear parents say it's the child's decision. and man, that, it kind of baffles me right there, because how can a child make $1 million decision?
Right.
I never forget Coach Saban said, if you bought a kid a Mercedes Benz, would you just let them drive wherever they wanted to drive? You got to treat this recruitment process like a Mercedes Benz. And, that's what I think a lot of people don't understand with this process, everything that comes along with it.
Coach KT, can I say one last thing?
Go ahead.
I just thought about this. I know Coach Goode will agree and you'll agree. One thing that they got to understand, because I can't imagine you doing this to Coach Saban, just showing up for practice, being on time. Why are you here at this level if you don't want to be out there at practice? Because you don't practice, you're not going to understand game day and game situations. There's so many kids out there that are there all the time. Then you got ones that it's just like, it's amazing. I don't understand.
Man, and Coach Goode already, I put him on the street. Boy, we could talk about this all day long. Or we can make this an extended show about kids.
I just try to get people this, but it's just aggravating sometimes.
Oh my God. Go ahead, Coach. I'll let you start. Ooh,
one of the worst things, you get to a situation where, you got a team, coach is trying to help you, and you don't show up to practice on time. You don't show up to practice at all. And call after practice why you didn't show up. And, that don't work in real life, even if you go to a job. So you go into a job and don't call, you're going to get fired. So you do it in football, you're already in dog with the college coach then. Go to a college team and do that and find out. We're a program that helps you all through that process of what's going to happen. Now, you take heed to what we're telling you and listening to it, then you're good. If not, if you get an opportunity to go to the next level, it's not going to work. Because one thing I can tell you, we got to tell the coach the truth that if you show up to practice or not.
Coach Goode, talk about some of the colleges that has recruited kids, just off the top of your head, from Goode Elite Prep. And viewers, I want y'all to understand that we're sending out a brand of kid, to these colleges. Just name a couple of them, Coach. You don't have to name all of them.
Talking about the colleges.
Yeah, some of the colleges that our players went to.
A lot going to HBCUs, probably four schools. I know Grambling and Alabama State. Got an opportunity for a kid to go to Miles, Tuskegee. When was Coach Richard last year to go? Before I see good that Mississippi Valley wanted to sign them, they didn't take the offer. We had Boise State, had a guy walk on to Alabama as a center, stayed there for a semester because he didn't want to work. Valdosta, a lot of D3 and JV teams, and we have a lot of those there in the D3, D3 and JV. So the list goes on and on some of the guys we got signed. But,
you got a kid at Arkansas, don't you?
Yeah, yes. Kentucky, you know, we got
Kentucky, yeah.
And see, and one of the things, and Coach Rich can tell you this, and this is one of the things that, that you know, he's done a good job, is that we have kids that we're recruiting, and we see how good they are. We'll go ahead right then and try to send them to a college team before
We
they
have
come.
we have 4 or 5 right now. We have Caden Arnold out of Escambia County, out of Atmore. He's received several FBS offers that we have helped him get. And he's gaining more exposure. We have one of the top running backs in the nation coming, named Jalen Hicks, coming out of North Carolina. He's received offers from Colorado State. He's received offers. We've helped him get offers from Alabama State, Jacksonville State, Yale, Grambling, just to name a few. And then we have kids who we've gotten scholarships this year from Demopolis, Alabama. I know Dexter Boston is going to Tuskegee. You have a kid from Demopolis who's going to Howard. And just last night, we're working in the process of getting KJ Rouser, a running back out of Demopolis, who were offered from us a full-ride scholarship to Clark, Atlanta. So a lot of kids that we deal with, we have Callion Young. Callion Young has several D2 scholarships who I've helped him got this year. He's a great safety, first-team All-State out of Tennessee, out of Memphis, West Memphis High School. So we do a tip-top evaluation of kids, and we have several kids who we don't feel is on the prep level, and their academic foundation is great, and we go ahead and use our connections and our networks right then to actually start helping kids get offers. So the kids who are coming to us for 23, the quicker you commit to us, the quicker that the recruiting department starts to work for you, and for you to be able to get offers for 24. So this is very important for us. It's very important for our school that we show the nation that we have the connections and networks to, once you get here to Goode Elite Prep, we can get you to a school and help you get the top quality education that you're trying to get and play college ball also.
So this means, Coach, so what you're really saying is, when you commit to Goode Elite Prep, you become our responsibility to help you move on to the next level, right?
Correct. And I want to say that to a certain extent, because a lot of times I agree with what you're saying, Coach, but I want the recruits to understand we're going to do our part, but everyone has a part to play in this. As long as the student athlete, first and foremost, that's the first and foremost, most important part. The student athlete has to do your part. If you do your part, the coaches are going to do their part. The recruiting department is going to do our part, and it's going to go hand in hand to get you to the level that you want to go. So it's very important that the kids do their part. We have a lot of kids to come in and they fall by the wayside. Everyone don't make it. You got to be able to stay focused, be where your feet are, and do what you're supposed to do. It's a process.
And so,
here,
Coach, we
go ahead, Coach.
Kids that that they hadn't stepped a foot into Goode Elite Prep. So you got to think about it. With us helping them, Coach Richardson doing what he's doing to get them in school, and you got to look at, that's kind of a recruiting thing for Goode Elite Prep, that we can kind of say, okay, well, we got that kid in, he never even showed up here. And now one of the services we have when everyone signed is that we had a recruiting service that we got every coach in the United States from D1 to JV, numbers, names, and everything that we use. And they have the contact, they got the Twitter information, and that's how the process is going to start. But that only starts once you commit and sign, and we give you the information. So you got to do your part as a player to fill out your information. You have to do that.
Coach, I want to reiterate this too. Whatever necessary fees need to be paid, make sure you pay those fees, because a lot of those colleges, they won't even recruit a kid from Goode Elite Prep. Just say if he still owes fees with Goode Elite. You have to leave in good standing. So that's part of your good standing, for you to make sure that all your fees are paid and all that other good stuff. And because, Coach, talk about us not being federally, funded and all that, because some people need to know that. Before they even waste, before we waste their time and our time as well.
Yeah, being a post-grad program, we're not state or federal funding. So the fees and things that we get that we say required to pay us to continue to have the program to run, to travel, to feed you when you're on the road, to get uniforms, to pay for the coaches, stipends and different things, that has to come from the athletic fees and all that we have that we set up for everyone. So if the fees are not paid, my thing is that you want to enter the door. We just can't do it. We've kind of did some things, before trying to help kids, and in the end of the day, it still doesn't work out to where they still don't want to pay, and then then you give them free service to try to help them get recruited. They still don't do that. So my thing is, why waste that time? We're gonna do everything we can to help you get recruited if you do what to do the things you're supposed to do. But you got to know a post-grad program is all post-grad programs are set up to help out with you getting another opportunity to get looked at. So if you go to a program and they saying they guarantee you'll get signed somewhere, you need to run from that, because I'm gonna tell you, those programs that said that, I have kids call me at the end of the year talking, hey, can you help my son out? But we can't help kids out that's not in the program.
Yeah, we can't help anybody, y'all. And y'all, we're not being harsh about that. But y'all, I'm telling you, it wastes our time trying to help people who are not all the way connected with us. Yeah, we helping kids, but at some time we have to be selfish and help our kids first.
Right.
And that's something that a lot of people need to understand about the post-grad program. Coach Richardson and Coach Goode, I want both of y'all to answer this. How much time do you have after Goode Elite Prep gives you an offer?
I can't tell you this. We are Coach Richardson that by the time it ends in February, that price changes.
Hey, the price is going to change, and your scholarship, because Coach Goode.
I know Coach Richardson on his list has 300. I probably have 500 or so just myself.
For football is coming up. February, we're going to start focusing in on our international kids and kids nationwide for basketball, because we got a great basketball recruiting class coming in here, and we want to make sure that you, Coach KT, is going to be great for next year. So we're putting all our efforts into football right now. We're going to have a couple of visits for football. Pretty much after about February or March, we're going to hit our number probably in February. And once we hit that number, we're cutting off for football. We're hot as a firecracker right now on Twitter and on our social media platforms. And there's a lot of kids.
So hold on, Coach. So you saying if I'm a local kid, I can't wait the May or June to decide to come to Goode Elite Prep this year?
And I'm going to show you why.
Come to a game?
No, I mean, yeah, you can come to, like Coach said, you can come to a game, but to get in our program, we want to get the kids who understand the process. And like I say, it's a process to this. By time May and June comes, we're going to be taking our football players to camps. We're going to be already in camp season. We're going to know who is here. Half of their money is going to be already, if not paid, already being paid. So it's a process that we're working this year. Everything is already just a go. So Coach, you're exactly right. If you're waiting to commit to us, if you're out here offer hunting and you have an offer from us and you know that we're the program you want to go to, you want to go ahead now and start getting yourself acclimated to get inside of the program. Because
so you can get the financial help or whatever you need to get here. You can't wait till the last minute just because we located in Daphne and I go to Daphne High School, or I can just know. It's a process. And high school coaches, you need to reach out to Coach Goode, me, or Coach Richardson. Anything recruiting basketball, you better go through Coach Richardson. Because going through me, I'm locally looking every day. I'm leaving today to go and watch some local games today. And my thing, half of the coaches don't even approach, to even tell us about kids. So if you don't approach us about your kid coming to Goode Elite Pro, how will we know that kid is interested? So it's a two-way street. If South Alabama, one of those schools, came to your campus, you're gonna want to know what they're looking for. And when you see us out and about, treat us just as such, because y'all, we are an international program now, and we don't have to have a quota of local kids. And we hate to say it like that, But a lot of people feel that way. Oh, I know KT. Yeah, you know me, but you don't know KT or Goode Elite Pro. You might know KT throwing the Icon Sports Southeast or something else, but with Goode Elite Pro, it's all business. And if you don't approach me in a business manner, then your kid can't get help. That's just like a kid from Baker last night. I went to the Baker game, coach, and one of the coaches said, man, this kid need to come play with y'all. I said, we want him. So, you know, those are the type of conversations that y'all need to have when y'all see us at these games. And in my thing, any local kid, hit up Coach Richardson, and we'll come watch you play. You know, it's just simple as that. We're not coming to find kids. We're not doing that. I don't want nobody to think that we just showing up at the gym to find kids. We're coming off of leads. People are telling us to come watch this kid or watch that kid. And sometimes it be younger kids, you know, for the future. So don't think that we coming looking for seniors all the time, especially high school coaches. Don't take it for granted that you know us. Talk to us about what you're trying to do for your kids. Right. And parents, tell your coaches, I want my kid to get an offer somewhere, to go somewhere. So now when we go to those schools, you can approach us and talk to us about your kid.
And Coach,
you know,
can I say this? And I find this too oftentimes, and I'm just a recruiter, and I consider myself an elite recruiter in what I do because I take pride in what I do, and I'm very detailed in what I do. And I want to tell high school coaches, if you're listening, you should, at every camp you get a chance to go to, at every opportunity you get a chance to go to, you need to network and connect with every college coach that you could put your hands on. A lot of high school coaches, your kids are not getting offers because you don't have head coach's cell phone numbers. You should be able to have, if you're in Alabama and you're a football coach in Alabama, you should have Eddie Robinson's cell phone number. If you hadn't reached out to these coaches and make yourself known and rub elbows with these coaches, let these coaches know that you're in a position to send them kids, then they're going to be receptive to you. And that is a line of communication to where you don't have to DM. I don't have to get on Twitter and send any kid information on Twitter to any coach at Alabama State. I can call cell phone numbers and drop film like that. I could call Hugh Jackson right now at Grambling and say, I got this kid, this kid, this kid, this kid. He going to look at the kid right then on a cell phone. And I'm not even a head coach. So that means that you have to get out here and network and rub elbows with these coaches. I find a lot of times we have coaches that go to coaching camps. They're down there just for the hotel. They're down there just to la gag and kiki and caca with the coaching staff, and they're not interested in rubbing elbows with these Power 5 coaches or coaches at different schools to where you could get an inside plug to these coaches. So coaches have to make like KT said, you have to make an attempt to talk to him. You have to make an attempt to show him that you have athletes that he should look at on your team. It's not about the kid. Coaches are getting paid big time money at some of these high schools. And their high schools are just not pumping out college kids like that. And the reason being, their coaching staff doesn't have any connections. You have to, that's a part of your job as a coaching staff in high school. You have to get out here at coaching clinics and camps and things like that and rub elbows with people that will put back and invest back in your community and invest back in your school and your kids. Okay, Coach KT.
Hey, I say this, and I'll piggyback on what you said. I'll never forget one of the coaches at Bishop State said, how many kids in Mobile or Baldwin County can play at Bishop State? And y'all, it hit me because I'm sitting there looking like, if a kid can't play at Bishop State or Coastal Alabama, how can the kid play for Goode Elite Prep and we play against them? So, you know, that's the thing that these coaches, y'all gonna have to market your kids. This is why a lot of people complain about the local colleges not recruiting the kids, but you're not selling your kids either. You just feel like, oh, they from Mobile or Baldwin County and we gonna recruit them. And y'all, I'm telling you, why should I recruit a kid that Bishop State or Coastal don't want when I got to play them twice? I got to play them twice. And you know, Coach Goode, you know, I'm going to let you get on and talk a little bit about that as well. for us the recruitment standpoint. And y'all got to realize we can help your kids probably a little bit more than you can. So sell your kids to us.
Yeah. One thing about it, just like Coach Richardson, you were saying yourself, is that we have a lot of kids that are there's a lot of kids in high school that are not getting recruited.
Correct.
And sometimes, the kid themselves and parents got to go out also when you're in high school to try to promote your kid as well. Make calls. That's one of the things you got to do. You got to call the coach. You just can't think they're going to come knocking at your door. And one of the things that we do is that we have a lot of kids that come in that didn't get recruited in high school, but when they leave here or they come 4 or 5 months, they have a real good chance they may get recruited. If they don't get a full scholarship, they can get a walk-on somewhere. But we make sure they work themselves also, because they got to fill out forms, make sure they get all of the information to send out some of the college coaches. So we I think we do a good job trying to promote the kids and get them out. But there's a lot of these schools, and I know this is something because a lot of them don't like prep schools. But the thing is, most of the time we do a job that you didn't do when you was in high school, and that's not the high school coach. The thing is, it's just that if you got 3, 4, and 5 stars, if it's an easy fruit on the tree, and somebody can pull that, say, hey, we're gonna take this kid, then that's what they're gonna do. But just going out and just trying to get a kid recruited, and you got 15 to 20 seniors, I understand that's hard. That's hard to try to get those kids. But what we're saying is that we give that kid that didn't get recruited in the program another chance. At least allow them to come to us so we can give them another chance to get looked at, because they would get more film, number one, they would get more games. And sometimes it takes a kid another year to start playing better, because, you have some kids that's not developed. Maybe, you may be looking at a kid that's in high school that maybe, 5'11", 160 or something like that. You give them a year or so in college, that kid can turn out to be one of the better players. And I've seen it a lot. So that's what the post-grad program is for. We want them to get another year under their belt so they can get looked at.
One of our new players, and Coach Goode can attest to this, James Reed. I'm going to call his name out because James Reed picked up an offer the other day. And y'all, he just got here.
He's been here 3 weeks, Coach. He's been here 3 weeks, Coach. 3 weeks.
Y'all listen, man. And Coach Goode can attest. This kid,
that looks is deceiving.
Look, y'all, he goes in the game, and y'all, he like the microwave is on. And man, I'm telling you, man, we've had kids been here for the last 2 years that's finally getting it. So at the end of the day, y'all, it's really at the kids' pace. Some kids learn quicker than others. This kid only been here 3 weeks. He's averaging double figures every game, and that he's played in. Y'all, he scored 8 points in 5 minutes his first game ever. So, we call ourselves bringing him in the next game he started. So at the end of the day, y'all, man, it's an outstanding program. And I'm going to let Coach Goode give us some closing remarks. And y'all, we about to shut this show down. All the other coaches, y'all be able to say something. But, man, we about to get off here. We don't want to make it too long.
Go ahead, Phil.
You got Phil?
Well, again, just to reiterate, I can't think of a more outstanding program than Goode Elite Prep, partner with the United States Sports Academy, and as Coach Richardson said, now worldwide. It's just Coach started this. I guess it's going on the 7th year now, Coach. And what an opportunity for the student athlete to continue on in football, baseball, basketball, especially for some of the young student athletes that need maybe that extra year. I can't think of a better program to come to. Goode Elite Prep, the outstanding coaches, staff members, and education that you can get. It's and the exposure to continue on. So it's just a outstanding program. I'm proud to be a part of.
We got Coach Richardson. You next.
Oh, okay. Once again, we're having Visit Day on Saturday. We want to invite all of our recruits out to Visit Day. You can go on our social media platforms to RSVP. We have the QR code there for you to RSVP because we want to make sure that everyone feels comfortable here and we can accommodate everyone that's coming down on Saturday. So please make sure that you go by our social media platforms or our different personal platforms, and we have our flyer and our QR code for you to scan to RSVP for that. It's a great time at Goode Elite. Like I say all the time now, it's going to be a movie this year. We got a great staff. We're adding on to that staff. Great kids coming in all sports next year. So we're going to do everything in our possible will to take this as far as we can take it. And again, we're very excited. So if you have some kids out there, if you're a coach, if you're a parent, you have kids not only in the class of 23, but the class of 24, 25, we're going to start looking at kids from every different demographic across the nation and also all of our age groups. So please send them in to us and we're going to keep this thing. Let's go, Coach.
Well, I can tell y'all this for Coach Goode. He gonna close us out today. But man, I'm telling you, it's a great experience. Make sure if you're in Mobile, Baldwin, the surrounding counties, Mississippi, Harrison, any of those counties down there, make sure y'all look into this. Make this one of your choices, one of your high interest choices, when you're choosing, your college choice. But other than that, I'm going to flip it over to Coach Goode. Let him take us out of here.
Like I told you earlier, we've been doing this now going on for 7 years. And one thing we do as a staff, we try our best, provide some of the best opportunities for some of the kids in the program. Now, that's with hard work and some of the things they have to do. And one of the things I'm always looking at, hey, be on time. Just show up, be on time. Don't be late. Because one thing I can't do is help you if you're not showing up. So this year, and I think hopefully it'll be one of the better years that we had. We have won the conference championship before, and this year is one of the things we're looking to try to do again this year. And in Coach Prime's voice, we ain't hard to find.
We coming.
Y'all, we coming. Man, we about to wrap this show up. Y'all, I'm KT Thornton. Coach Richardson, where you at?
I'm right here.
Coach Quigley, where you at?
Man,
Right here.
Quigley almost back down at Orange Beach.
I know, right?
And y'all, that's Coach Goode. Man, we about to get out of here, y'all. Man, it's been a great show. The Goode Elite Prep Show will be airing once a week. So y'all stay tuned for this show. And man, we about to get out of here.
Bye.
See ya.
All right, y'all. Peace. Oh my God. Hold on, let it in.